Howdy folks, TJ here. Did you know they made wireless mouse for the Atari back in the day? The cordless mouse. Now I happen to own one. It's made by Practical Solutions. And I thought I would show you it working on my Atari. Now this is just something that I had acquired in a bulk buy long ago. I did slap some new batteries in it, and from when I remember I tested it before, it worked okay. Maybe it needs a little cleaning. Maybe some of the buttons are from age getting a little gunked up. But if I remember right, the single and double clicks, it's much different than your Atari mouse. So let's talk about mice a little bit. So some people love them. Some people hate them. But I actually like the Atari. It looks like a tank type of mouse. I think Amigans call their mice also for the old 1000 model computer a tank also. But it is a slick-looking mouse. And to tell you the truth, it feels comfortable in my hand. Maybe a little blunt here when you're palm setting it, but for me, no, it feels good. And everything about the design of the Atari mouse. Here's a side profile. And here's the top, bottom. You know, it looks cool. But there's, of course, a cord on it. So when you're plugging it in, if you have an older 520 ST, 1040 ST, Falcon, they kind of buried the joystick and mouse ports a little underneath, and you have to do a little bending. You have to be a contortionist. Is that the right word? To plug it in. So it's a little unique. On the STE that I have over here, the Mega STE, and the TTO30, it's nice because your port is right here, or on the left side. So it's very convenient for plugging a joystick over there and a mouse here. And so a cable, not that big of a deal. But if you're on limited real estate, you know, when you're using a mouse, you know, the cord gets in the way. So you're using it and it starts bumping up against stuff as you're moving it. And it's a little bit of a pain. So wireless mice are very nice. So let's move this aside. Let's look at the booklet a little bit. Well, actually, let's show you the mouse first. So here's what the mouse looks like. It looks sleek. It's a bit, I would say, longer. You know, here's the two side by side. Hopefully, I'm holding it up well enough for that. And it's slimmer. I guess I should show that also. A slimmer mouse. Doesn't mean it's any better. And doesn't mean it's any better because it's wireless. We're going to see. So it's Practical Solutions, and they've got their logo slathered all over the top. Here is a side profile. Now this side's got a button, unique. I'm not quite sure what that button does. I'll have to look. Now this is I think, infrared kind of mouse. So there's a little sensor on the front. It's not like a Bluetooth type of mouse or a wireless USB that has a little dongle that you plug into your computer. So it's a little different. So here's the front, and then here's the bottom. So it is a trackball style mouse, and there's a little cover here that you can put a couple of batteries in. So that's kind of what it looks like. There are some little skid plates, 4 of them on there. So yeah, and it's got 2 buttons on the top. Let's see what the booklet says. So I do have a booklet for it, which is cool. And it's from Practical Solutions, and they were in Tucson, Arizona, and it's 1989. So the front of the cover just says User Guide. The Cordless Mouse for Atari ST User Guide. And then it talks about the cordless mice. Like other mice, the cordless mouse is a pointing device for drawing graphics, moving objects, and selecting items on the monitor screen. Unlike other mice, the cordless mouse uses the latest infrared, so I was right, signal transmission technology, giving you a new freedom. It's like going commando. You gotta get to be a little freedom going in there. Feels pretty good. Okay. With better control, without the usual cable connection. The cordless mouse eliminates cable tangles, allowing easier, faster, and smoother mouse movement. Along with this user guide, you get the cordless mouse, a receiver with cable, which I'll show you in a second, double-sided foam tape, interesting, and a warranty card. So here's what the little booklet here kind of shows. Let's see what else it says. Features 8-bit 12 megahertz CMOS CPU. There's a CPU in this thing. Infrared single transmission, high resolution of over 200 CPI, high tracking speed of over 600 millimeters per second, tactile feedback switches, anti-static silicon rubber coated ball, the low friction Teflon foot pads, automatic shutoff extends battery life, no specific or special grid paint required. Then it has dimensions and weights, and it takes two 1.5 volt AAA batteries. Receiver installation says to make sure your computer's off, plug in the receiver. So let's show the receiver. So I already have mine plugged in. So this is a long cable that I plugged into my TT over here. So if you have an Atari older, like 520 ST or whatever, you can feed this in the nooks and crannies underneath and get it all done. And having this extra long cable is kind of cool. This is what the little infrared receiver looks like. So it's fairly small, but it's got a little size to it, I guess. And the bottom, it's got some little, looks like rubber type of feet that kind of grip a little bit. And of course, there's a cable that plugs into it. So you basically can, I'm just going to, for now, put it over here someplace. Now, obviously, you can feed it however you like. Now, I don't know if you just noticed. I've got it plugged in. So let me just move. When I move the mouse, I got to have it behind it. You may see a lights flickering. Let's see if I can get this here. It's not flickering anymore. What did I do? Shit. Oh, and the mouse is not moving. Did I freeze the computer? Battery go. Oh, there we go. I moved it because I moved it probably in front. So you'll see that I just clicked. I've got the trash. Shit. Let me put this down. You got to have a kind of a line of sight. So let me see. I'll tilt it up and move it, and you can see the light flickering. So when you move the mouse on the screen, there's a little light that lights up. Now when you click, it does give a quick little bleep bleep. But when you move it is when you see the light really light up. So anyway, you need to put it kind of in a line of sight. And as you've been watching, I've had it go all over the place. So the general moving, and I've got this in low resolution ST mode so you can kind of see it a little better. You don't really need to see super close up, but you can see I'm moving this big old fat cursor. What I noticed about the Practical Solutions is, you see where the Teflon pads are here? There's a big space back here, which is where you put your weight sometimes of it. So I notice when I'm pushing down on it, this kind of flicks up. So right after, it doesn't feel, it feels good, but if you're the palm happy, palm heavy type, I notice that you kind of see this is lifting upwards like this. So you have to kind of get used to it a little bit. They may have been better to put some Teflon patties back here so you wouldn't have that movement. Anyway, so it moves pretty good. Now the buttons is what, maybe from age, so when I click on something, a few minutes ago, I was single clicking and it was double clicking. So, I hit the buttons a few times. Maybe it takes a little getting used to, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to single click, a big solid single click. And it does light. But if you do a quick one, sometimes it doesn't. So far, it seems to be doing all right. So I'm going to double click. Oh, I double clicked the floppy. There's no floppy in there. Maybe if I double click on the C drive. Now let's try resizing a window. Sometimes that can get a little tricky. You got to grip just the right part of the bottom. And there we go. And then, now I got to get used to the speed feels a little bit different. The temperament of it. You know, it feels all right. It's a little different. You maybe got to grow used to it. Now the right mouse button, I forget, maybe in certain applications it gives you a drop-down menu. I don't have anything that I can think of that's going to give me a right mouse button click. It's been long enough that I've been out of Atari that I forget what right mouse button does, but I don't think it's in every application or the OS in general. It may be, but I'm just not remembering it. So anyway, let's move this back here a little further. So it's now about 1.5 feet away. It seems to be all right. So if you wanted to, maybe that's what the double tape was for. You can put it in a particular place. But needless to say, you can probably find a little nook and cranny, like an English muffin. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything today. But it feels pretty fluid, and it feels generally pretty good. Other than this part I don't like. I wish they put, maybe I could get some little, but then it's going to cover, see, the battery slot. So they should have rethunk that a little bit. Anyway, let's look at the book a little bit more and see what other things, maybe it'll explain what that other button's about. Receiver installation, we've got through. To insert batteries, it talks about inserting batteries. We all know how to do that. Once the batteries have been installed, you can begin to use it. So there's not like a light that lights up on this or anything saying, hey, buddy, I've got good batteries. You can begin to use the cordless simply by pressing the on button on the left-hand side of the mouse. Okay, so that's what that button is. It's an on-off button. If I click it once, does it turn it off? No. Maybe you have to wake it up. So it's like a big wake-up button. Because if I push it again, unless you have to double-click it or something to turn it off, it is now ready for use. But then it goes to sleep, like it said. So automatic shut-off, yeah. If the cordless mouse is not used for approximately 10 minutes, it will shut itself off automatically to conserve the batteries. To restart it, just press the on button on the left side of the mouse. So it wasn't a secret button that called Leonard Trammell, Sam Trammell, Jack Trammell, Gary Trammell to say, hey, when's our Falcon 060 coming out? Which never happened. I think they originally, wasn't the Falcon going to be an 040? And then they backscaled a little bit and went 030. Anyway, next page, operating distance. It says up to 45 feet. No, 45 degrees. I was going to say 45 feet, that's a long way. A 45-degree angle, so it kind of shows you the angle you need to be at. Cool. Maintenance, it says use a soft cloth to clean. Do not open the cordless mouse. Sometimes the silicone rubber-coated steel ball located on the bottom of the cordless mouse will become dirty enough to cause faulty operation. To clean your balls? That's always the funniest thing, talking about cleaning your balls. We were doing this back in the 70s and 80s, right? We were cleaning balls well before it even got popular. It says you can take it out. So there is a little ring that says open or, open and close. You can probably see it there. So you can remove the little ring-a-ding-ding and clean off your ball. Clean your ball, people. Turn the cordless mouse upside down. Use soap and warm water to clean the ball. Thoroughly dry the surface with a soft cloth. You don't want to use like a Brillo pad down on your balls, right? That's not going to feel good. So make sure to use a soft cloth. Replace the ball and cover, turning the cover clockwise and secure. Troubleshooting, it talks about some troubleshooting, and it gave you a warranty. Back in the older day, this was a 1-year warranty. You know, do you guys remember when warranties were really back then 30 days or 90 days if you were special? Nowadays, 1 year is pretty common on a lot of things. But then there's a lot of small writing shit, like, they put in there. If a life lands on your windshield, your engine is no longer covered. I mean, companies are stinky, aren't they? Anyway, we're talking about balls and steak. But overall, it works pretty good. Like I said, you got to be firm on your clicks. Why do I keep doing the A drive? I'm harping on A. Let's open D. But once in a while, I notice when I'm going right, it's a little shimmying. And my screen's actually, this monitor, I think, it's a little temperamental. I can see some little anomalies. Anyway, right click, double D. Double D. A lot of innuendo today. But overall, it works pretty good. So yeah, wireless mouse, infrared. So you're going to plug a dongle in with a long cable, but it's pretty decent size. I mean, here you go. So I dig it. I'm happy to own one. Now, on my TT, since the port's right there, I'm going to use an Atari mouse more than likely. But this will probably be kind of fun to use on maybe my Mega 2 ST. On that one, you got to bury the mouse on the unit. Is on the left side of the keyboard. I forget. I have to go look. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. So Practical Solutions made a cordless mouse back in the day for your Atari ST. I'm glad to own one. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.